Welcome to the Friday Pastor's Devotional on YouTube. I'm Bob Lee, pastor here at Huguenot Road Baptist Church, just southwest of Richmond, Virginia. Thanks for spending a few minutes of your day with me. Today is Friday, August the 29th, 2025, and I hope that our time together is helpful and encouraging to you. Today, I'd like to talk about a passage that I read in one of C.S. Lewis's little books. And you might have read it. It's entitled The Great Divorce. And if you haven't read it, it's an imaginative theological allegory about heaven and hell. Honestly, it's a challenging read. But sometimes God places just the right words in front of us. And I sensed that very thing with what I read yesterday morning. To give you a little context, recently in our men's Bible study, we discussed how it's often very hard to forgive ourselves. We can forgive other people, but we have a hard time forgiving ourselves. And we continue to pile on the guilt and the shame and find it very challenging to accept God's grace. We know it's there for us, but we find it hard to receive it. In chapter 9 of this little book, C.S. Lewis writes this, and this is just really struck me. Quote, "Ye cannot in your present state understand eternity. Heaven, once attained, will work backwards and turn even that agony into a glory." Let me read that again. Ye cannot in your present state understand eternity. Heaven, once attained, will work backwards and turn even that agony into glory. And then Lewis writes this: the good man's past begins to change so that his forgiven sins and remembered sorrows take on the quality of heaven. Quite frankly, I found that profound and a bit perplexing to think that over a period of time, the more and more we focus on heaven, that a Christian's past begins to change so that our forgiven sins and remembered sorrows take on the quality of heaven, meaning that they are diminished. That brought to mind what the writer of Hebrews says in chapter 12, verse 2, "Let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith." And I continued to think about this and actually wrote down the refrain to a hymn in the margin of this C.S. Lewis book. And the hymn is, "Turn Your Eyes Upon Jesus." Maybe you know it, maybe you've sung it in church. Or if it's new to you, the refrain goes like this: "Turn your eyes upon Jesus, look full in his wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace." This hymn was written in 1918 by Helen Lamole, and she had been inspired by a missionary's words who said, "Turn your eyes upon Jesus, and the things of earth will acquire a strange new dimness." What makes it even more moving is that Helen was physically blind. Yet, inspired by those words from the missionary, she penned one of the most powerful hymns about spiritual sight and perspective. Like a lot of us, like me, maybe you're struggling with self-forgiveness, or maybe you're carrying the weight of past regrets. C.S. Lewis reminds us that heaven, God's reality, has the power to transform even our sorrows. And Helen Lamole, in her hymn, reminds us that when we turn our eyes upon Jesus, everything else, the guilt, the pain, the regrets, begins to fade in the light of his glory and grace. So let me encourage you today. Lift your eyes to Jesus. Focus your gaze on him, and may his unshakable reality transform your life and give you hope. I hope it's been helpful today. I know it has been for me. Thanks for sharing a few minutes of your day with me. God bless you, and I hope to see you soon.